we had more than 6 foot water. So, and it was the first time that we had to handle floods. As a state, we've handled cyclones and we have expertise in that. But then Mr. Naidu, being Mr. Naidu, said, why can't we use drones for delivery? And I remember quite a few of the operators saying that's not possible. I mean, we've used it for agriculture purpose. Being an Indian, we call the Jugaad model. We had a basket fitted, let's say, let's try it. And success, we actually managed to deliver food. I wouldn't say that it was the best model. I think it was a great beginning because we didn't have enough of drones. So I wish I had 2,000 drones, then I could have delivered breakfast, lunch and dinner to every house. But I just had about 40 drones. And with that 40 drones, we did do a pilot. And I think it clearly gave us a direction of what India can do. Now we're seeing other nations use drones to kill people, but I think India shows the way of how we can use drones in terms of relief and rehabilitation. So I think there's a lot of work that we've done there. Saying that, the second bit was the entire rehabilitation. So relief was done. How do you pay money? How do you rehabilitate people? Again, we put all the models out. We had a sandbox. All the images of the water from CCTV, from our drone footage was put out there. We had all the education institutions across the country and in Andhra Pradesh take a look at it, give us suggestions, start working on the models to tell us at what day, what level of water was in which area. So based on the amount of water outflow to the terrain, to where it's getting discharged, we could understand that better. So our rehabilitation, the money we were giving, it was amazing. We did this entire thing. 15 days after flood water receded, we doled out the money. And it was all done through online because thanks to Aadhaar, every bank account is connected. So we were able to marry technology in that sense much better. But saying that, I think it's very important to go back to the field. And that's something that Mr. Naidu used to do every day in the evening. So he would go out for 4 hours, waist deep water, jump in, understand, did things get delivered or not? Then feedback would come to us. I was manning the control room. So he would say, okay, food didn't get delivered in this house on this lane. And here's the lat long, and then we had to send the food. So I think that's always required. I think you need a feedback loop. The human loop is always required on how much of a technology you might have. So I believe we have a model to handle such crisis, not only for Andhra, but for the nation. And one task we have taken up as a state is we'll get about 2,000 drones in the agriculture sector. A lot of the spraying, the pesticides and so on and so forth actually can be done using drones. And then during an emergency, we can pull it out and use it for relief activities. So I think it's a great learning experience. And as a country and as a nation, we're just learning on how can we use this technology far better.
I just want to stop here for a moment and just applaud the incredible work that the government and the chief. Next to a brighter subject, Amravati project, something that I know the Honorable Prime Minister, Chief Minister is very, very passionate about. It could be or should be India's first ground up AI capital full of technology built on the best plans, sustainable, everything that we can dream of. So if you could tell us a little bit about the vision behind the Amravati project, also called Amravati.ai, which is a very interesting subtitle for a capital city. How is it going and what is the vision? Because investors would really like to understand that. It'll be a state, a capital that will compete with several very important capitals in the south.
With other capitals in the world. We're going to compete with other capitals in the world, right. And that's our aspiration as a state. So as a state, we got bifurcated in the year 2014. So we are the new state, capitalist state. We started our journey from scratch, and Mr. Naidu is known for building cities ground up. An example of that is Hyderabad. So Hyderabad was built by the Nizam, Secunderabad by the British, and Cyberabad by Mr. Naidu. He has a great contribution in that. So he's known for it, and he brought the same vision, but he said, let's do this from scratch, and a completely green field. And the beauty of this project is not just the technology bit, but the human angle, where not even an acre was owned by the government, it was owned by the farmers. So we pooled the land from the farmers, where developed land went back to the farmers. So how do you make farmers part of this growth, the economic growth that we're going to deliver? So and that's very unique in that sense. And we started off with that project. It is going to be India's world-class city. It's going to be all green powered. It's a city that's going to have district cooling system. Like how we have power, water coming and gas coming home, you'll actually have air conditioning coming as service. So we're looking at various efficient models that have been deployed across the world, enable us to leapfrog as a city. That's one part. The second part comes to the entire knowledge bit. If you look at it, we already have India's premier institutes like SRM, VIT, already having campuses there, and they're creating world-class students, faculty coming out of that area, and more campuses are going to come. So that's where the entire knowledge economy is going to get kickstarted. And saying that, as a government, we are very passionate about real-time governance. We did this in the past between 14 and 19. But now things have changed. Now government can be in your phone. So why should you go to office? And single question is that. So when you push a button, you're able to watch a movie. When you push a button, you're able to get a cab or groceries or lunch or dinner. Why can't government be that responsive? And that's a straight question that I get asked by the Honorable Chief Minister. Saying that, phase one, we're working with various platforms, and the phase one, we intend to deliver about close to 100 government services via any platform to your phone, number one. Number two, we want to use AI, and we are in talks, we are actually piloting it. And there are amazing examples of how AI can sort of improve the efficiency of government delivery. And the various instances where I believe we could have done much better than we did in the past. So you'll see in the next 100 days AI being deployed in governance and also helping ministers, bureaucrats take decisions. So we already started this project where we have a digital twin for every minister. And based on the entire social listening, based on the feedback from various sources, it would advise that these are probably the 5 areas you want to pay attention in this week. So we're giving these insights to the ministers, and then we have this entire feedback mechanism. We understand sentiment across various ministries far better today. So 100 days from now, I think I'll be able to present it actually in front of everyone. And then we want to then go down, have a digital twin for every member of Legislative Assembly, so they can understand better what are the pain points, what are the things that we need to now focus on.
So 2 quick points. Firstly, knowing Mukesh, he would tell me that if you're going to do that, please do it at US India Forum, the 100-day plan. We would love to have you over and have you present this to the investors. They would love to see this. We would be honored if you would do that. And again, ladies and gentlemen, remember, Amravati.ai not competing with the best capital cities in India, but with the world. That's the ambition, that's the plan. It's quite incredible. And thank you for sharing that. You spoke about knowledge hubs and universities and Andhra Pradesh's Knowledge City initiative, which is focusing on knowledge, and also looking at building these world-class universities. I can count 4 AI universities: skill, sports, and logistics. Could you elaborate a little bit of the plan here and how it plays into the vision that you've just described?
So we're now working with private universities, global universities now to come and invest in our state with a clear vision of what should come in which district. So one university which got added to the list was the entire Civil Aviation University. So we're working with GMR, which is the world's second largest private sector airport operator. And we're working with them on actually building a Civil Aviation University in Visakhapatnam, because that's where we believe that it can be the hub for it, and where 25% of the global workforce can actually come from Andhra Pradesh. Logistics is going to be closer to where the ports are. Nellore is one district which has a good number of ports. We want to do it there. So with a very sectoral focus, we are now encouraging universities to actually come, start their campuses in Andhra Pradesh. And I'm fortunate to have both hats, Bharat and India. So Bharat hat is the Human Resource Development Ministry. India, of course, is the IT Electronics Ministry. So I'm lucky to have both, and I'm able to steer in terms of policy and what is required. So I keep saying, one size does not fit all. That's quite clear. Things have changed substantially. And what we can deliver is speed of doing business. And as a state, if you see a lot of institutions that wanted to become deemed universities, we created a policy for them to do that. And a lot of universities that want to start from scratch, it's going to be tailor-made for them based on their investment, the sector that they want to enter in Andhra Pradesh.
My last question before I ask you to just make a general comment to the investors in the room is that Mr. Naidu was known to be ahead of his time. The policies that you've just spoken about, all of them seem to be either keeping with time, some ahead of their time. At least two of them that you mentioned, there are first initiatives anywhere in the world competing with the best capitals. What do you see as the challenges in getting to this vision over the next 5-year period?
As you rightly said, Mr. Naidu is always ahead of his time. And as a political establishment, we tend to put the cart ahead of the horse. And you've seen subsequent elections, we have not been able to win. And that's something that we take as strong feedback for ourselves, that continuity in governance is equally, if not more important at this juncture for our state of Andhra Pradesh to see our vision through, number one. Number two, whatever vision I've shared with you is something that I've already discussed with the electorate, and we go back for constant feedback, and we will involve them in the entire process. And the last bit, I think even the political class or the bureaucracy, I think the last 5 years was a slumber. So I think it's taken us a bit of time to wake everyone up and say, let's move. And with a kind of renewed interest and energy that Andhra is now witnessing, creating that momentum is going to be very critical for us as a state. I think these are the clear three things that we want to go about delivering. And I'm sure that these three delivered, then Andhra Pradesh should be the first $1 trillion economy in India.
Thank you. You have some of the largest investors from the United States in this room, existing and potential. What is the message that you would like to give? What is it that you would like them, the process in which they can engage with the government? Few words for the delegates who have flown all the way to be in this meeting.
Thank you very much again for having me here. I'm honored. See, Mr. Naidu is a veteran. This is the 4th term. He's the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. But he brings renewed energy. Just to give you an idea of the kind of mandate we got, out of the 175 constituencies we contested, we won 164. That's a 92% strike rate. It's the highest ever even we've witnessed. Saying that, out of the 164, 88 of us are first-time members of Legislative Assembly. In his cabinet, 17 ministers are first-time ministers. So a lot of fresh faces, a lot of energy to do good. All of us are raring to just get going. Andhra Pradesh is, as I said, a very long state, which lends itself very well for decentralized development with clear sectoral focus. As I already stated, we believe in the power of ecosystems. And we are here to deliver on that ecosystem. A lot of work has already been done between 14 and 19. It could be renewable energy, it could be the automotive, the mobility sector. Electronics manufacturing is another great area where a lot of work has already been done. Biofuels, aquaculture, pharma, then you of course have the entire medical devices manufacturing, the IT space. So the state lends itself very well for investments across all sectors. And the beauty of our state is we can potentially be a net zero in terms of carbon emissions as a state. Surely because of the 72 gigawatts of renewable energy that is going to come online by the end of our term, which is 2029. So as a state, we are competing with other states, no second thoughts about it. But one thing I can promise to you in Andhra Pradesh is speed of doing business. That's something that other states cannot promise. We will deliver on that. As ministers, we are very committed to it. So every investor who's knocked on my door, we have a WhatsApp group that we create, and then we are in touch with them. And every week we update the investor on what has happened, what needs to be done, what are our hits and misses for the week, where have we fell short, and how are we going to make that up. Because your investments ticket sizes have increased. I mean, now $1 billion investment seems to be a norm of the day. But then a week delay, a month delay, or even a 6-month delay of your project is just going to throw your business plan out of the window. So we understand that, we appreciate that. So we will deliver on the speed of doing business, and we're here to deliver. And last point, for us to deliver this, we have recreated Economic Development Board, which is being headed by a young IAS officer. And we have his entire team under him is coming from the private sector. So veterans from that industry are going to come, join the Economic Development Board. So they'll be your single port of call and your point of contact. And anyone investing over $1 billion in our state will have a dedicated person from the state sitting in your office and delivering on the promises that we have made to you. So I request all of you to look at our state. Please come. You will see the renewed energy that we have. The great opportunities across all sectors. It could be the new capital city. It could be our port. It could be our big data. It could be the petrochem, chemical, the entire pharma ecosystem. There's amazing opportunities out there. So I request all of you to take a hard look at the state of Andhra Pradesh and definitely give us an opportunity, and believe me, we will deliver much, much better than any other state in India. So thank you very much for having me. Jai Hind.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A young political leader, clear vision, focused on speed, inspirational and on point. Please join me in giving him a big round of applause.
So thank you, Shri Lokesh and Mr. Bhatia, for such a thoughtful and insightful conversation. We're now going to turn our focus to another crucial topic, strengthening the US-India defense ecosystem. It's my honor to invite Shri Sanjeev Kumar, the Secretary for Defense Production at the Ministry of Defense, to the stage. And with him, I'd also like to request Dr. Vivek Lal, Chief Executive of General Atomics, Mr. William Blair, Vice President and Chief Executive for Asia and India at Lockheed Martin, and Mr. Jeff Shockey, Senior Vice President, Global Relations at RTX, to join the Secretary, along with Sonia Singh, the Editorial Director.
మీరు సొంత ల్యాండ్ని కలిగి ఉన్నారా? మరియు మీరు మీ డ్రీమ్ హౌస్ని నిర్మించాలని అనుకుంటున్నారా? అయితే బ్రిక్ అండ్ బోల్డ్ మీ కలని సాకారం చేసుకోవడానికి ఉత్సాహంగా ఉంది. బ్రిక్ అండ్ బోర్డ్ అనేది ఎండ్ టు ఎండ్ ఇంటి నిర్మాణం కోసం మీ వన్ స్టాప్ పరిష్కారం. ఇంటి డిజైన్ నుండి డెలివరీ వరకు మీ కలల ఇంటికి సంబంధించిన ప్రతి అంశాన్ని మేము జాగ్రత్తగా